Today, I want to share with you three things that you can do to double your productivity in 2026. And these three things are tried and tested. We've tested them with actual research, and I test this all the time myself personally in terms of what I do on a regular basis to make sure that I have maximum and optimal impact every single day. And these three things, I don't want to downplay this because it is very easy to double your productivity if you actually do these three things. The toughest part is actually having the discipline of doing this. The first thing is having a very clear vision and goals for your life. Now, I know this is overplayed. So many people talk about goals, but here's the reality here. When we actually take a look at the goals themselves, and our research confirms this, roughly about 95% of people don't set goals effectively. And I'm going to talk about a system that we use, and hopefully you can apply this to your approach so you can apply this in your personal life and your professional life so that you can actually enhance your productivity, your effectiveness, your impact, and your efficiency. The first thing is having a very clear vision, a 3-year vision that's very clear about where you are wanting to be in 3 years. Because from that 3-year vision, then you can actually create very specific 1-year goals. Okay, so that's the purpose of the 3-year vision, is to set the stage for your 1-year goals. And your 1-year goals are those things that you are going to focus on and have absolute focus on for 2026. This is the key here. Most people don't focus. They will set the goal, but they don't focus. There's a number of other things that are required when you actually take a look at a goal. A goal requires these things. A, the goal has to be very clear. Secondly, there has to be a plan of action. So I see a lot of people setting goals, but they don't have a plan to achieve that goal. And that will set people up for not necessarily failure, but definitely suboptimal performance. And once you're able to set a plan of action, then you can actually identify how to actually achieve it on a daily basis. And that means that you have to have daily habits to be able to achieve that goal. And so habits lead to longer term results. But in order to have the habits, you also have to have a measurement for feedback. So that's the other element that you have to have for your goals as well. Whether it's someone else telling you this is why if you're trying to get fit or lose weight, if you have a personal trainer, your personal trainer is a person that provides you feedback. So you have an external source of feedback in terms of your progress towards the goal itself. And so those are the things that are required. You need to have a very specific goal. You need to have a plan of action, have daily habits, and then also have a very effective feedback mechanism that actually enables you to get to the goals. Now, there's two other things here that are very important. Aside from having annual goals, which so many people do, right? The typical New Year's resolutions, the most important thing that we identified is what you do today and what you do this week. So we implement what we call weekly recalibration. So everybody that we work with is recalibrating themselves every single week, and they are looking at their week and they are identifying whether their week, what they are doing, spending the time, energy, and resources that week, is it aligned with your 1-year goals? If it's aligned with their 1-year goals, then they will be productive, effective, and efficient. If it's not aligned, you're going to be distracted. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff, a lot of activities, doing a lot of hard work, long hours, but you're not necessarily going to actually move the needle towards achieving your goals. And that is a key factor here. The other element to this is what you do on a daily basis. Okay, you got to wake up every single morning and take a look at what are your top objectives for today. So goals, objective, results, outcomes, they're all the same thing. Okay, they all fall within the same category. They're all in the same bucket here. So every single day you get up and you take a look at, okay, what do I need to achieve here today? What are the objectives, the biggest ones? And then you identify the activities that are actually going to get there. Okay, so that's the first thing that you can do when it comes to doubling your productivity. It's a very clear and effective goal system in itself. The second thing that you can do, it is so simple, yet so underutilized. And I would say many people talk about it, but so many people don't do it and they don't apply it on a regular basis. And that is what we call protected focus blocks. Protected focus blocks are the number one thing. I would say if you're going to do any one of these three things that I'm sharing with you here, have protected focus blocks, have pre-scheduled blocks in your calendar on a regular basis that are set for you and are protected. You protect them with your life for you to do your most important work. And that is when you are not distracted. People don't interrupt you. People on your team know not to mess with that time. They are not to come into your office. They are not to call you. They are not to email you at that time. Or even if they do email you, they know they're not going to get a response until you're out of that protected focus block. It is such a simple thing, but our studies show this. And I want to reiterate this. Everything that I'm sharing here with you today, I've tried and tested. We've tested it with our professionals. I've tested it myself. And I can tell you, because I'm my biggest guinea pig, what works and what doesn't work. And this is one of the things that I'm absolutely adamant about is protected focus blocks, because it can easily double your productivity. Okay, so that's the other element there. That's a second element that you can do to double your productivity. The third element, which is a little bit trickier, but it is a science. Okay, there's a science to it, but there's also an art to it. And that is the ability to get into the zone. The more you can get into the zone is a state that you are in, an optimal level of being engaged, having a higher level of creativity. It actually boosts your level of learning ability, your cognitive focus, and most importantly, your productivity. Studies show that when you get into the zone, that you can actually get up to 500% more effective. It's absolutely crazy. So when I was, let's just say in the corporate world, people would ask me, Pradeep, how do you get things done so fast? My number one aspect there was being in the zone. I could get into the zone because I had trained myself to get into the zone. And that's what we train professionals to do, is how to get into the zone particularly when you're in those protected focus blocks. Because if you can get into the zone during those protected focus blocks, you become that much more effective. So you have this one particular hour or 2 hours for a protected focus block, whether it's every single day, however many you can put into your calendar. I highly encourage you to do this. And if you can get into the zone during these periods, you're going to boost your productivity significantly. And so to get into the zone, there's a couple of things that are absolutely required for you to be able to do that. Number one, you have to have a very clear objective in mind. Number two, you have to remove the distractions. Three, you have to have a decent amount of challenge. Okay, there's what we call the zone of optimal challenge. So every person is different when it comes to that zone. And then there has to be an appropriate feedback mechanism. Now, if you're interested in this, feel free to reach out, because I can go into and share the deeper science behind getting into the zone here. But if you do these three things in 2026, have a very clear goal system, have protected focus blocks that you protect with your life, and you're able to get into the zone more effectively, not only are you going to be more productive, you're going to be far more impactful, you're going to be far more effective, far more efficient. But here's what our studies show. You're going to have a higher level of satisfaction and fulfillment in life, because those individuals who feel that they are more productive have a higher level of satisfaction. Now, the key here is that those individuals that are more productive and not burning themselves out and working extensive hours, we're not talking about those individuals. We're talking about individuals that put in whatever it may be, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours of very productive time every single day, or whatever day that they're working. And they feel highly productive during that time period. The challenge is that most people will work long hours. They'll work 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. They might work 7 days a week, but many people don't feel like they're at their optimal level of productivity. So not only does getting to that optimal level of productivity get you better results and get you closer to your goals, but it actually helps with your level of fulfillment and your quality of life overall. So hopefully you can apply this in 2026 and watch the significant, and I'm just going to say amazing results that you're going to see as a result of that.